Hello and welcome to another edition of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
And I'm a pissed off Bill Sutton.
Yeah. So we're gonna start off with some Steelers Patriots talk because there's a lot to unpack, and if you don't like Steelers Patriots, and we're gonna be a little bit biased, you can maybe tune out.
We're gonna be a lot biased. Once again, as we said, how many weeks ago? 17 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Did the Patriots get all the calls? And they do. And even on the last play, that was a pass interference. They were pushing him down to the ground when the guy got the ball. They were pushing him to the ground.
Oh, I know.
I just don't understand how it all happens. But to be fair, they couldn't stop Gronk, and Gronk killed him.
And you can't have a fourth quarter lead of 8 points with Tom Brady on the other side and Bill Belichick and expect to hold them out of the end zone for 2 or 3 drives. You can't just run the ball into the line of scrimmage.
And you can't have Mike Tomlin and Todd Haley playing not to lose.
Which is exactly what they did. Because the defense played.
Was the worst thing. That's the worst thing of all of it. When you were running on first down in the fourth quarter, and they were all stacked up there to hit the run, and you got killed.
You should have run those little crossing patterns, just like you did run little checkdowns, little crossing patterns. Do something to, Tony Romo was saying it too. He was like, you're not going to win the game this way.
No, you're not.
Because the defense played great, considering you got no Shazier, no Hayden, and you're going against Brady and this offense, and I thought they played really well.
And nobody did anything really on the offense except for Gronk. I mean, Gronk had almost 200 yards himself.
And I also don't understand on that 2-point conversion how you end up with one-on-one.
And you know where it's going.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jason. I thought it was the worst guy. If they fired Tomlin and Haley tomorrow, I'd be ecstatic.
I'd be fine with it.
They just cannot beat that team. And if you're doomed to doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're not going to win. That's the definition of futility.
We obviously have some terrible Antonio Brown news, as he obviously went to the hospital. We don't know exactly what's wrong.
Again, we never play with our full arsenal. So he played a quarter, and he played into the second quarter.
I don't know. I thought he went out earlier than that, but I don't remember exactly the moment.
I think he had one catch, just the catch he broke the record on, right?
Yeah, he had the one catch, then he got hurt like 2 plays later.
Yeah. I just don't understand where Martavis Bryant was on that last couple possessions.
Well, they weren't
the first half, and then he throws them in the second half at all.
They weren't throwing the ball. They were, again, you say they were playing not to lose. And you can't do that against the Patriots. Like, you're going to give Tom Brady 2 or 3 more shots against your defense, and that's going to bite you in the ass every single time. It just. And now I guess I don't understand how the Jesse James play was not a catch.
The ball moved when he went to the ground. I mean, maybe he should have just laid down and rolled over.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I thought he caught the ball, turned, put his knee on the ground, and reached across. I mean, if he was running the football, that's a touchdown, whether the ball moves or not.
The rule is you have to go to the ground. If you go to the ground, you have to come up with the ball. That's the rule.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a dive.
No, I know. And it wasn't even bunny on him.
No, I mean, they took a long time to review that, so I'm sure there's some debate.
Well, I think I've vented enough.
I suppose. But while we're here, just because it's been the talk all week, and obviously now with him ending up in the hospital, he probably isn't going to play next week, and he's probably out of the MVP race as of now. But it seems pretty clear that only quarterbacks can win the MVP. So.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting acknowledgement, but Brady will win now.
Right. But what is the point of having.
That is a fait accompli right now.
But if the award is just most valuable quarterback, why don't we just call it most valuable quarterback?
I agree. I mean, there's no doubt that Brown not being in that game was a big factor in Steelers not winning. I mean, he is that valuable. And the fact that it was that close of a game and playing without him for the majority of the game was a testament to the talent on the field, not the coaching on the field, talent on the field.
No, definitely not. But with him going to the hospital, that may be it for the year for him.
Yeah, they said the x-rays were negative in the booth. But, it didn't seem like a big thing. It seemed like he got kicked in the calf, didn't it?
It seemed like it.
But on the other hand, he's not a big guy. And maybe he broke his leg. I don't know.
That's what I was worried about.
He might have got like a Joe Hayden fracture.
Because I feel if it's just a calf bruise, he's back on the sideline, in at least a jacket, watching the rest of the game, cheering him on.
Yeah.
And then in other Steeler news, it was really great to see Ryan Shazier at the game cheering.
It was. And I think he had an impact in the game in the first half. I think that
mean, I think the defense did its job in this. I mean, when you're playing the Patriots, like you can only do so much. I thought they gave the Steelers an opportunity to win. I thought, the coaching and the offense.
I was really hoping more than anything else that Juju was going to run it all the way in the end zone.
Once he broke it across the field, I thought he had a shot at it, and then obviously not.
Yeah, I give the Patriots credit. They really pursued that play.
Yeah, after he broke through, yeah.
Yeah, and he's, that wet ground and everything, he was stumbling, and so he lost a little bit of his speed, but kind of aggravating them.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest, I never expected to win when they play the Patriots because of the voodoo.
Yeah. And now that means if you're going to beat the Patriots again, you're going to have to go through Foxborough. And now with the 3 losses, you're in a loss to Jacksonville already on the season. You're in danger of the Steelers of losing home field and losing your bye week. So,
well, they get the Texans on Christmas, who got skunked today by the Jaguars by almost 40 points.
Yeah.
And then you get the Browns for your last game, which will not be an easy game. I mean, the Browns will play hard.
Yeah, but they have way more talent than the Browns. And the Browns are going to start Deshaun Kaiser.
And they have way more talent than the Texans.
Yeah.
I mean, they should win both games. And they should be the number 2 seed. And then all we can do is hope that the Patriots end up playing whoever and get knocked off. The Steelers get home field again, but it won't happen.
No, it's probably going to be like every other year. It's going to be a rematch in Foxborough. And then all of a sudden, because the crowd was a factor in that game.
No doubt.
And I'm surprised, since everybody knows it, and Tony Romo talked about it in the game too, like you always defer away so that you try to get that possession where you don't hear the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And they went right down and scored on that possession. So,
Yeah. I mean, they scored on the first possession at each half.
Yeah. Maybe Steeler fans they'll learn that next time and come out. Don't worry about getting your beer at halftime or using the bathroom. Just stay and scream.
Yeah, I don't know.
Frustrating day.
What do you want to move to? I don't want to talk about the Steelers anymore. It's killing me.
All right. Well, I don't want to talk football. There's not much football to talk about right now. It looks like outside of Aaron Rodgers' kind of sad comeback today, there's not really a lot to.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to come back after 6 to 8 weeks like that and have any kind of timing. I mean, he got picked 3 times, right?
Picked 3 times, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's tough to have timing and be used to game speed and everything, no matter what you were doing on the sidelines, no matter what you're doing in practice.
And Carolina's
it takes a good to get up to that game speed.
And Carolina's a good team. That's a tough team to come back on.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's going to be an interesting set of playoffs.
Because that pretty much eliminates the Packers officially, I think, outside of just everybody losing for the rest of the season.
They were gonna I think they had to win all 3 going into today to have a shot.
They'd win all 3 and get help.
And get help.
And and as reports,
the Rams are an interesting team, though. They pounded the Seahawks today in Seattle.
Yes, they did. But in that same way, though, the Rams, even when they were bad, would beat Seattle at least once a year. They're sort of Seattle's Miami, New England. I know they just pound them. They look great, but the Rams always seem to have Seattle's number, no matter what. For this last Russell Wilson run, but
breaking news: Antonio Brown tore his calf.
Oh, he's done.
He's done for sure. I mean, he's out.
That I tore a calf.
Yeah, that's a long healing injury. That's
it was
like 6 weeks.
Long healing injury. It was honestly even with therapy, it was close to 6 months before it was back to
Yeah. So the Steelers stay healthy. They're just talking about how healthy the Steelers have been, and then they lose Shazier, and they lost Hayden, then they lose Shazier, and now they lose AB.
Yeah, you lost your most important player on offense, your most important player on defense.
Yep. So, it's going to be what it is.
Yeah, it's true. And obviously,
teams not playing up to performance and just making me scratch my head. I just don't understand Oklahoma City. I just really don't. They're worse than they were last year, and they picked up 2 better players.
Presumably 2 better players.
No, I mean they're better players. They're just not together, I guess.
Well, I'm not sure when the last time Carmelo was.
They are better players than what they had. They just are not gelling, or they're not playing well together. I don't know what it is, but some
I think you do both. I'm just looking at the landscape. If I'm the GM of Oklahoma City right now, I'm looking at Cleveland, Boston, maybe even Washington in the East. Clearly, Golden State, Houston, and probably San Antonio in the West. And I'm not better than any of those teams.
No.
So
No.
I'm a 1-year rental with Paul George. If I can flip him at the deadline for something, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think you get anything from Carmelo Anthony. I don't think Carmelo Anthony's any good anymore.
you're sharing touches and taking the ball out of Russ's hands, and you're worse.
Yeah.
I just don't know. The team just mystifies me. Houston looks amazing in the NBA.
And I do want to defend Russ for a second because I know a lot of people are saying that, once Oladipo and Sabonis got away from him, they got better. Sabonis got to move from the 4 in Oklahoma City where he wasn't a stretch 4 to play the 5 in Indiana, and he has a whole other year under his belt.
Yeah.
And then if you read about what Oladipo did in the offseason, like he changed his diet, he changed his exercise program. It seemed like for the first time he bought in. Because as somebody that saw him a lot in Orlando.
Yeah, he was a high pick. He was a lottery pick in Orlando and never had a solid year till right now.
Yeah. And in Orlando, he looked like his ceiling was like, 6th man of the year candidate. Like he never looked like he looks right now. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people want to pile on and say that, they left, as soon as they left Russ, they got better. But I think that's sort of a false narrative that just is, is clickbait. And just give him a little defense.
Well, Jace, this is really technically ESPN Bowl Week. I think we have a bowl game now every day for the next 10 days, don't we, or 2 weeks?
A bowl game that nobody knows what it's about or gives a crap.
Pretty much.
Unless you're obviously an alumni of said school.
Interesting ones coming up. So, I don't know. But, it'll be, at least there's something to watch other than, there's no first-round TV series on right now, and so there's something to watch, and, you never know what's going to happen.
Now, do you feel like...
I'll watch.
I was never the biggest college football fan because I always found it kind of just tough to watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
But how much do you think the playoffs has hurt the other bowls? Or is it pretty much the other bowls are still the same?
Oh, I think there's no doubt. I mean, if you're not in the... There's 4 bowls that are competition, and the rest of them are just entertainment. I mean, you're playing for whatever it is, but nobody really cares unless you went to those schools or you're betting on the game.
Yeah.
It just, there's nothing. I mean, there's no vote afterwards that if you had 5 teams that all had 1 loss, where you're determining a national championship because they're not in it. So yeah, it's definitely had an impact. But just the sheer number of bowls too, it takes away from it too.
Right. Well, you can be a...
If you're 6, you shouldn't be in a bowl. If you're 7 and 5, you shouldn't be in a bowl.
No.
But everybody wants to have a bowl, and everybody wants to do some tourism things. I just know it's ridiculously hard to sell some of those bowl games.
I know we've had I forget, we had a bowl in New Orleans this week. It was Troy and somebody. I think it's just a New Orleans bowl or something.
Yeah.
And there were 5 or 6 people at work just giving away tickets, and nobody wanted the tickets.
No, I can understand that.
And that's a Saturday afternoon in the Superdome, which is a fun place to be. But, they couldn't even give away tickets to that bowl. So, I think this is... I mean, granted, I'm not going to pretend like Troy versus the other team I can't even remember off the top of my head is a big draw. But when you can't give away seats, that says something. Are you still... Back to the NBA, because I think you touched on the Rockets before I went back to Russ.
I want to watch.
The 3 bowl games you want to watch, okay. Which are?
They stack up. The non-Power 5 school stacks up against the Power 5 school that conceivably could have been in the national championship picture. I want to watch Texas Tech and South Florida because I think it could eclipse 100 points total. And then because I'm an Oklahoma State guy, I want to watch Oklahoma State. That's pretty much what I care about. And
yeah,
where I find myself rooting against teams rather than rooting for teams.
And who have you picked to be your choice for national champion? Who would you like to see? I think we're having some technical difficulties with our phone, so we may have to call this episode a little bit early. But we are going to be back. We're both on the road currently, which makes it sort of difficult. But we'll be back with a special Christmas edition of Sutton Impact Family Style, which will include my brother. We might have a special esports special. We're gonna have my mom on the podcast, and I think it should be fun. So please forgive us for this week. Like I said, my dad's in New York right now. I'm also in a hotel room, so we're both struggling to make it all work. But please join in next week.